When was the last time you asked yourself, can I really do this? Am I ready? Is this the right moment? And even more important, what would have happened if you had simply said yes? Let's be honest. Everyone in this room has asked themselves these questions many times. And if someone says no, it's maybe we don't like to admit it. This uncertainty is human. We are not robots. But why do we ask ourselves these questions exactly in this moment? Not when we are ready, but exactly when it matters. Exactly when an opportunity appears. Exactly when we could grow. And exactly then, when we start to doubt. My story started about 13 years ago. I was young, inexperienced, just came straight out from the military service. I started a new job in a medium-sized international company as an electrician. What really attracted me was the opportunity to work abroad one day. One day. Not now. Not yet. One day, when I am ready. In 2013, and during my military service, I suddenly got a call from my boss. I thought, why is he calling me? I answered and asked, hey boss, is everything okay? He said, hey Dom, yes, everything is good, thanks. But I have a question for you. Peter, our colleague, got injured. He was supposed to go to South Korea for 3 months to lead one of the biggest projects in company's history. Now I need a replacement. What do you think? Are you interested? I was completely surprised and I thought, can I really do this? Am I ready? Is this the right moment? I had no answer, but I had to make a decision. After thinking a lot, talking with family and friends, I finally made a decision and said yes. And already now, I can tell you, it was one of the best decisions of my life. 3 weeks later, I was in South Korea, alone, for the first time in my life. I stayed in Songdo, it's around 40 kilometers from Seoul. Tall buildings everywhere, massive streets and thousands of people. For a young guy from a small village in Switzerland, it was really impressive, but also a little unreal. And when I arrived in my single one-room apartment on the 22nd floor, I thought, wow, this is really happening now. And yes, now I was here. New continent, new apartment, no family, no friends, and suddenly the responsibility for a huge project. All I could think was, what have I got myself into? After 2 days, it was time. My first working day. A huge construction site, hundreds of employees, and my first meeting in English. At that time, not exactly my skill. I was sitting in the meeting and I didn't understand everything. I understood some things from the context, but definitely not every single word. And at that time, I just knew this will be a challenge. But still, I had to take part, react, make decisions. And then something important happened. I noticed that I wasn't perfect, but the others were not perfect either. The team leader from the Korean employees didn't speak perfect English, and the team member even less. And suddenly it wasn't important to understand every single word or speak perfectly. What really mattered is that we supported each other and found solutions together. We helped each other with simple words, with hands and gestures, and sometimes just with a smile when something were not clear. And that is exactly how it worked. Day by day, I became more confident. I started to speaking without thinking too much about every single word. My English improved. And while leading my team, I slowly understood I actually knew what I was doing. At the beginning, everything felt so big, new, and overwhelming. But in reality, it wasn't so different from home. It was just bigger. I just had to apply step by step what I had already learned. After a few weeks, I was no longer the insecure 20-year-old guy. I started to think ahead, to coordinate, to take responsibility. Not perfect, but better every day. And that made the difference. And then, that is when something became very clear to me. The best moments in life do not start with certainty. They start with uncertainty. We often wait for the perfect moment, the moment when we feel ready, the moment when we know everything. But this moment never comes. Instead, moment comes as an opportunity, a question, a decision. And yes, at the beginning it doesn't feel good. It feels uncomfortable. It feels uncertain. But in South Korea, I didn't only lead a project. I discovered what I really wanted to do. To lead projects, to coordinate, to organize. But most importantly, to work with people and lead people. And that only because I didn't wait for the perfect answer. I simply said yes. So let's go back to my question from the beginning. Can I really do this? Am I ready? Is this the right moment? Back then, I didn't have all the answers. But I learned something important. You do not grow first and then take the step. You take the step first and grow along the way. And that is what I wish for you. The next time an opportunity appears and these questions come into your mind, don't wait until everything feels perfect. Sometimes the best decision in life starts with one simple word. Yes.